Okay,
There's
that could
one
be
thing
one.
that I really want to bring to the table to remind everybody over here, because this is the empowering truth of why I really decided to stand up and advocate for this, and do what we did all around the world with EESystem
Mm-hmm.
and unified healing and all that. And when I first saw it, I had a problem with it. My problem with it was the same problem that I have anything that so-called exists outside of you. I know that there are nuances to that. We're not going to get into those right
Yeah,
now. In the human experience of
sure.
outside
Mm-hmm.
of you is what I'm talking about for practical purposes, not non-locality and all that right now. So when it comes to when I
Mm-hmm.
first saw this, I saw it as something that was easy to externalize your power to. Because
Mm-hmm.
if people believe that it's this thing that's going to come and heal you, then it's a very disempowering state, because you suddenly believe that there's something outside of you that has power over you. And I don't
Yeah.
believe it. And that's what I didn't like in the first place of when I saw it and when I saw many other things, and I stayed away. But the more I learned about it, the more I understood something completely different. That's why I stand up for it today. It's not this thing that heals you. And I want to make that very, very clear. This is not a device that heals you. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far to say that there's nothing outside of you that actually heals you. No pill, no doctor,
Mm-hmm.
no nothing. At the end of the day, the pill, the doctor, the guru, the teacher, they're just helping us remember what we already have within us.
Totally.
When it comes to this technology specifically, it's not doing anything to you. It's giving you an opportunity for your body to do what it does best, which is heal itself. And we see that as the natural state of nature.
Yeah.
Nature is always trying to come back into homeostasis. It's always trying to rebalance itself. We do things that take it out of balance, and that's where you see disease come into the equation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But in the natural state of everything, if
Mm-hmm.
I cut my hand over here, whether I'm sleeping in a coma, awake, this thing will close. It will scab and new skin will form, because that is the divine intelligence of the body.
Yep.
In that same way, and I want to drive that point home over here when it comes to the energy enhancement system and all these centers that we have around the world, it's
How many centers do you have now? Like over 400, right?
420 in 53 countries
Wow.
worldwide now. It's amazing. Actually, Tony Robbins Center, he's opening one next month in Las Vegas, which is going to be
I've
awesome.
heard of him.
Yeah, he has this technology in his home, and he was really cool. And we did an interview on it. He put it on his YouTube channel. But again, the reason why he's so excited about it, I'm so excited about it, is because number one, it's very apparent to see what the actual results of what people are sharing. And
Yep.
on the website, unifiedhealing.com, there's thousands of testimonials that are being shared, that are being seen from people that are not connected to one another. None of these
Wow.
people are paid actors. None of these people are incentivized to do these things. It's thousands of people that are literally just recording a video and saying, this was my experience.
Wow.
So I bring that up because we have a chance right now to make a very big change.
Mm-hmm.
And that chance of a change,
Mm-hmm.
which we can take and actually turn to something huge, can happen when we understand one very important paradigm shift over here.
What's that?
And it's the fact that there is nothing outside of you that can heal you.
So yeah, so basically what you're saying makes sense to me, which is you're creating a field of coherence that balances the external aspects in your world, and then that field of balance through sympathetic resonance brings you also, and your body allows the body to thrive and to do the things that it needs to do that then lead to better outcomes that are not necessarily claims. So you're creating an environment that is a more conducive, healthy environment.
Correct. That's a very simple way of putting it. If you want to get a little technical, because it's actually very cool, and I wish I had a chart to be able to show, but I'll use my hands to
Yep. Mm-hmm.
give a visual over here. Reality, if energy cannot be created or destroyed, and everything works in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, that means reality is infinite. If reality is infinite, then how can we understand reality to understand how to better apply something like this into our lives?
Mm-hmm.
How does this really work? And it works on the basis of understanding reality. So quick little fun, grounded lesson to understand this for everybody that's watching.
Mm-hmm.
If reality is infinite and it works in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration,
Yep.
we break it down from zero, which is zero, nothing's actually still, but we'll call it zero, to infinity. The breaking point between 0 to infinity, so long as we're a human being, is what we call the speed of light, or what you call the speed of perception. Same thing expressed in different ways. It's just a way to indicate something, which is what our current limitation is that can be expanded. So we'll call it the speed of light just to make it really easy, but I agree with you on the speed of perception. I just don't want to confuse people when it comes to that. So the physical side of reality is from 0 to the speed of light, or the speed of perception.
Yep.
And the non-physical side of reality is the speed of perception to infinity. If we are made of matter, and all matter is made up of energy that can't be created or destroyed, that means that we are literally infinite. By definition, we are infinite, energetically speaking. So in that same way, right now, when it comes to medicine and healing and all these things, the pharmaceutical industry is based on reductionism. So it takes one thing. It's genius in understanding all the pieces, but it's not connecting those pieces. So you have a pill that fixes this but destroys that. Then holistic medicine with an H is taking in consideration the entire spectrum, not to infinity, but the entire spectrum. And then holistic medicine, what I would call with a W, the true whole, and not the whole without the W, is what we really need to be paying attention to. So if we understand that energetic balance is conducive to health, and that's what health really is, then we need to balance energy from 0 to the speed of light, or the speed of perception. We also need to balance energy from the speed of perception to infinity. And if we can balance both sides of that equation, we can experience health once again in our lives, both physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. What you're looking at with the Energy Enhancement System is taking care of both sides of that equation. On the inside, behind the screen, there's something called an engine field generator.
Engine field generator
is simply an engine that generates electromagnetic fields.
Yep.
Now, if you know two-point toroidal theory, to create a toroidal field, you're going to need to take two identical electromagnetic fields, align them precisely, and the merging point will create a toroidal field.
Yeah. So basically it creates a vesica, the overlap creates a vesica, and within that vesica is another toroidal field.
So what that's creating, this toroidal field, is taking care of balancing the equation on the spiritual side, from the speed of perception to infinity. But now we're human beings. We also have to take care of our physical bodies from 0 to the speed of perception within the confines of the physical matrix that we experience our life in. That's where the screen comes in. So the screen is working using the medium of light within the spectrum of physical reality.
Visible light.
The movement that you're seeing is movement in correlation with the Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is perfect. It's harmonious. We see it in nature. If you can bring that code of creation, is what I like to call it, if you bring that code of creation back into proximity with the human body, instead of this messed up world that we've created to do with it, then the body will synchronize with that natural code of creation.
Yeah, it's like a sympathetic resonance.
Exactly. And then
if I have a sound, here in my office, I have sound bowls. And if I play a certain sound bowl, right, a little Tibetan sound bowl, it will actually I can hear the bells in the fire alarm system starting to resonate.
Interesting.
So there's a certain frequency, and it's a very high-pitched sound, that I just play this and I start hearing all the way down the hall, all of the fire alarms that also have integrated sprinkler heads in them. I start hearing the bells behind them start ringing.
And it makes sense.
Not loudly, but I can hear them.
It's the law of vibration.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see that with tuning forks all the time. So the screen is using that when it comes to the Fibonacci sequence. It's creating photonic collision that creates a charge that your cells will synchronize with to give the proper charge to experience health over disease, or balance or imbalance. And it's using light therapy. So it's using light within the spectrum from 360 to 720 nanometers in whole numbers to bring light back, whole light, whole energy, whole frequencies back into coherence with the body. So in short, to rebalance that whole spectrum, you have the engine field generator behind the screen, rebalancing the speed of perception to infinity, or the speed of light to infinity. You have the screen using light within the spectrum that's rebalancing 0 to the speed of light, or the speed of perception. When you balance both sides of that equation, which is an infinite realm of infinity, You have balance on all sides. And that's why these testimonials of crazy things that you're seeing,
Yep.
it's not a miracle. It's just using the laws of creation, building technology according to the laws of creation, and seeing the results that come out of a perfect, harmonious creation, which is what I call God. It's perfect.
Fascinating.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. Super fascinating. Wow. So, okay. So what can you tell us about the testimonials that people say about this?
So the best place I would say for anybody that's watching this right now is if anybody wants to see them for themselves, because there's so many, I would go to unifiedhealing.com. There's a testimonials tab. Unified is spelled UNIFYD. And when you go there, and I'll actually read it out to you as we're doing this right now.
Yep.
Allergies, bladder problems, bone density issues, breathing, cancer, circulation of blood in the body, cognitive repair, digestive efficiency, disease as a whole, emotional balance, energetic balance, general health, hair, hearing, hormones, infection, inflammation, mobility, mood, mouth, nerves, pain, reproductive system. A lot of men, by the way, like having this around their bed and sleeping with it, because some people that you know yourself, big people in our space, they've reported some very funny testimonials of their libido going up. They no longer need, things like Viagra, for example. It really boosts blood flow throughout the whole body and brings the body back into a coherent state. There's skin, sleep improvement. I could speak on that one myself. I mean, it helps a lot, big time. Speech. Now, speech is a nice word for saying autism. Okay, there are certain things that are not allowed to be spoken about, so I'm not going to say it in certain ways, but I will share a testimonial with you from somebody off the top of my head. It was in a center in Israel in this case.
Yep.
The kid was 4 or 5 years old, nonverbal, autistic, 4 hours in a 24-unit system. He was suddenly saying his ABCs. I swear on my life, the parents came, made a video, and shared it with us directly. Now, that was a shock to me. If you go to Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, she's like, yeah, I've been doing this for the past 28 years. This technology has been around since 1996. So it's nothing new. What's new is the awareness of individuals beginning to accept it. And that happened ever since the big interview that came out called The Revolution of Healing. So testimonials in the thousands all across the board. And instead of me sharing them, I would tell everybody, go to unifiedhealing.com. See it for yourself. There are video testimonials. There are text testimonials. The reason why I love video testimonials is because a text, anybody can write. You don't know who's
totally. Mm-hmm.
A video, you see what's going on. You see who these people are. And you see that it's real and authentic. So it's been the most fulfilling journey thus far in my life because of what it's doing for people.